All right, so welcome to another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be looking at something kind of interesting, I think. This idea that an entrepreneur's journey is a lot like a heartbeat, but not just any heartbeat, one with a few hiccups along the way.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that a heart problem would be a good thing for your business, would you?
Yeah, that's right. It's, kind of counterintuitive when you first hear it. But we're taking a look at this document called The Entrepreneur's Journey versus Sinus Rhythm, a tale of unpredictable beats.
I love it.
And
kitschy.
It uses this heart analogy to explain what it's like to be on the entrepreneur's journey.
Yeah. So it says a healthy heart has this nice, steady beat. Right.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah, steady Eddie, called a sinus rhythm.
Sinus rhythm.
But the life of an entrepreneur, a little different.
A little different.
If that were an EKG, there would be some concerned looks in the room.
Probably a little more erratic. Yeah.
And this source lists a bunch of different emotions that entrepreneurs go through.
Yeah.
Anxiety, fear, doubt, also excitement.
It runs the gamut.
Hope, tons of passion.
Mm-hmm.
How do all of those work together?
Well, it's interesting, because they're all part of the experience of being an entrepreneur.
Right.
I mean, think about it. When you're starting a business, there's so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself out there. And, it's natural to feel anxious, doubtful.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you're driven by this passion, excitement for this idea that you have. Right. And without that, it's so easy to give up when things get hard.
Right. And things do get hard.
They do. They always do.
This document compares the failures and the disruptions, the pivots that entrepreneurs face to something called arrhythmias, which aren't those a bad thing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's when your heart's not beating right.
Well, in a medical context, they could be a real problem for sure. But remember, we're talking about a metaphor here.
Right.
In the world of entrepreneurship, these arrhythmias, these unexpected events, they can actually be incredibly valuable. Because they force you to adapt, to rethink how you're approaching things.
Right.
And a lot of times they lead to breakthroughs that you never would have even imagined otherwise.
So these disruptions, they're not necessarily setbacks?
I wouldn't say so.
They're more like opportunities.
In disguise.
Yeah, opportunities in disguise. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Think about it like this. When your heart skips a beat, your body, it knows how to adjust, right? It keeps everything running smoothly.
Right.
When an entrepreneur faces a disruption, maybe a product launch fails or a big competitor comes out of nowhere.
Sure.
They've got to find a way to adjust to that and keep their business going.
So instead of panicking when things go wrong,
you should be looking for the opportunity in that chaos.
Exactly. See opportunity where other people only see problems. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. It is. And the document, it actually has this great line in it.
Okay.
It says, "Success is not found in the steadiness of the rhythm, but in the courage to dance with the chaos."
Dance with the chaos. I love that.
Yeah.
What does that actually look like, though?
Well,
in practice.
In practice, I think there are a lot of examples.
Okay.
Can you give us an example of entrepreneurs correcting these disruptions and finding that opportunity?
Yeah.
One of the best examples I can think of is Netflix.
Okay.
They started out as a DVD rental company.
Right.
Sending discs through the mail.
Yeah, yeah.
And when streaming technology came on the scene, they adapted and changed their whole business model to become the streaming giant they are today.
So they saw that disruption coming.
They did.
The rise of streaming.
Yep.
And they didn't just try to
stick at the old ways.
Yeah, stick with it. They changed everything.
They changed everything.
To capitalize on it.
Exactly. That's a key thing for successful entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to change course.
Wow.
When they need to.
Okay, so Netflix is a big company.
Yeah.
But does this idea of dancing with the chaos apply to, smaller businesses?
Absolutely.
Even individuals?
Yeah, it applies to anybody who's trying to achieve something new.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're starting a business, launching a new project, even just learning a new skill.
Right.
There are always going to be unexpected challenges and setbacks along the way.
Right.
And the way you respond to those is what determines whether you succeed or not.
So it's not just about having a good idea.
No, not at all.
It's about
you picking a
adaptable,
resilient, embracing the uncertainty that comes with anything new.
Absolutely.
That's a lot to think about.
But I think before we go too far down that road, we need to unpack this whole idea of disruption a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point. What does it actually mean?
Yeah, what does it mean to embrace the power of disruption?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay. So let's jump into it then.
All right. So we keep talking about this embracing the power of disruption.
Right.
It's a catchy phrase, but
it is.
What does it actually mean for somebody who's maybe just starting out?
Yeah.
Thinking about their own entrepreneurial journey.
Well, I think a lot of people, when they hear disruption, they think of it as a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
like something you want to avoid.
Yeah. Something to be afraid of.
Yeah, but you're suggesting that they could be a positive force.
Absolutely, because disruption forces you to think outside the box.
Okay.
It challenges those assumptions and makes you come up with new solutions.
So it pushes you to innovate.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
And a lot of times, the companies that are most successful are the ones who can anticipate and even embrace those disruptions.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Think about Airbnb.
Okay.
I mean, they completely disrupted the hotel industry by coming up with a whole new way for people to travel and find a place to stay.
Right. And they saw an opportunity in a market that was ready for it.
Absolutely. I went for it.
They capitalized on it. Yeah.
So they didn't just react to a change.
Right.
They
were proactive.
Yeah. They created the change.
In a way, they saw a need that wasn't being met by the traditional hotels.
Yeah.
And they came up with a solution.
Okay.
That was better for modern travelers.
This is making me think about all the emotions that entrepreneurs experience that we talked about earlier.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I imagine dealing with all this constant disruption.
It's a roller coaster.
It is emotionally draining, for sure.
How do entrepreneurs manage all of that?
Yeah, that's such an important point.
Yeah.
Because the emotional side of entrepreneurship, it's often overlooked. It's so important to find ways to develop strategies for dealing with all the ups and downs.
Right, the setbacks, the failures.
The setbacks, the failures, exactly.
So what are some of those strategies?
Well, one of the best things you can do is build a strong support network.
Okay.
You know, having mentors, advisors, even friends and family who understand what you're going through.
Right.
It can make a world of difference.
So people you can talk to.
Yes.
People who will encourage you.
Yes.
Give you advice.
Exactly.
When you're struggling.
And it's important to take care of yourself, too.
Oh, of course.
Physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
You got to pace yourself. Yeah. Make sure you're taking breaks, exercising, getting enough sleep.
That's good advice for everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's especially important for entrepreneurs.
Right.
Because they get so wrapped up in what they're doing that they can easily burn themselves out.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got support networks, self-care, any other strategies?
Another good one is to focus on what you can control.
Okay.
Because when you're feeling overwhelmed, it's easy to get caught up in all the things that are outside of your control. And that just leads to more stress and anxiety.
So instead of worrying about things you can't change, focus on the things you can influence.
Yep.
That makes sense.
But what about when things go wrong?
Right.
Because they inevitably will.
They will.
How do you bounce back from those setbacks?
Yeah.
Well, one of the most important things is to see failure as a learning opportunity. Every mistake, every setback is a chance to learn and grow from it.
So instead of seeing failure as like a sign that you're not good enough,
right,
or your idea is doomed,
no,
you see it as valuable data.
Data, exactly.
That can help you improve.
And this is where the concept of a minimum viable product comes in.
Okay.
Or MVP.
MVP. Okay, so for those who don't know, what is that?
So an MVP is basically the simplest version of your product or service that you can put out there into the world to get feedback from real customers.
I see.
So you're testing your assumptions and learning as quickly as possible what works and what doesn't.
So get it out there early.
Yeah.
Even if it's not perfect.
Even if it's not perfect.
Get that feedback. Use that to improve it.
That's the idea.
I see.
And this ties back into the idea of dancing with the chaos.
Okay.
You know, by embracing that uncertainty and being willing to experiment, you can gather those insights that will help you create a much better product or service in the long run.
So it's all about being agile,
adaptable,
constantly learning iterating.
And that approach,
Okay.
it applies to so many different things, not just business.
Oh, okay.
It's about being open to new information, willing to change, and seeing challenges as opportunities for growth.
Wow. This is really changing my definition of success.
I think that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about just having a great idea.
Right.
Or working really hard.
It's about resilience.
It's about resilience.
And adaptability.
Yeah.
Navigating challenges that come with anything worthwhile.
Exactly. And that leads us to another concept that's really tied in with this whole dancing with the chaos thing.
Okay.
And that is the concept of pivoting.
Pivoting. Okay, I've heard that. It's a buzzword.
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean?
Yeah, break it down for us.
So pivoting means making a big change to your business model, your strategy, based on new information or feedback you get.
Okay.
So you're willing to change course if your original plan's not working.
Okay.
Or if you see a new opportunity you want to pursue.
So it's not about giving up on your dream.
It's about being flexible.
It's about adjusting your approach. So you can get where you need to go.
Exactly. And pivoting.
Okay.
It's often a necessary part of being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I mean, it's not very often that a business can just start out with the perfect plan that never needs to change.
It's like adjusting your sails.
It is.
When the wind changes.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
Okay, so you're still trying to reach your destination.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to be flexible and adapt.
Okay, all this makes sense.
Good.
But for a lot of people, this idea of embracing uncertainty, being willing to change course, can be scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's a lot easier to stick with what,
the comfort zone.
Yeah, even if it's not working.
So
what advice would you give to someone who's struggling with that fear?
It's a very real fear.
Yeah.
And it holds a lot of people back.
Right.
But it's important to remember that fear is often based on how we think something's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Not on reality.
So the fear is worse than the experience.
A lot of times, yeah.
Okay.
And the more you challenge your comfort zone, the less scary it becomes.
It's like a muscle.
Yeah.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
The more you dance with the chaos,
exactly,
the better you get at it.
That's a great way to put it.
This brings us back to the heart. Those arrhythmias, those moments when the heart skips a beat. Actually make it stronger.
Yeah, more resilient.
In the long run. Yeah. So maybe instead of trying to create a perfect steady rhythm in our lives.
Yeah, in our lives, our businesses embrace those moments of disruption.
Yeah.
Use them
to your advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about
finding that balance,
between structure and flexibility.
Right.
Planning,
improvisation.
Yeah.
Being prepared for the unexpected, but also knowing that you're strong enough.
Yeah, you've got the skills
to adapt and overcome.
And thrive no matter what happens.
Wow, that's pretty empowering.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all the times that I've let fear hold me back.
Right.
You're not alone.
No, we all have those fears and doubts.
Yeah.
But we don't have to let them control us. We can choose to embrace that uncertainty.
Use it as fuel.
Yeah, use it as fuel. Exactly.
I love that.
It's what makes being an entrepreneur so exciting.
Right.
It's a constant process of learning, adapting, growing.
Yeah.
Pushing yourself. Finding out what you're really capable of.
This has been a great conversation.
It has.
We've covered a lot.
We have.
But we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
We've talked about the challenges, the emotions, the strategies.
Mindsets.
But what about the rewards?
That's a great question.
I mean...
And it's a perfect lead-in to the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, let's get into it then.
All right.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges of dancing with the chaos, the ups and downs, the strategies, how to navigate all that uncertainty.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is, but it wouldn't be worth it if there wasn't some...
It's got to be worth it.
Amazing on the other side.
Yeah.
So
what are the rewards?
Yeah, what makes it all worthwhile?
Well, I think the rewards are as individual as the people who pursue it.
Right, but can we get a little more specific?
Sure.
What are some of the things that entrepreneurs say make it worth it?
A big one is that feeling of autonomy, freedom.
Okay.
You're your own boss.
Right, you set your own hours.
Yeah, you make your own decisions.
Okay.
You build something that's truly your own.
But isn't that freedom kind of an illusion?
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Entrepreneurs are always working.
That's true.
Even on vacation.
Right. There's definitely a trade-off.
Right.
The lines get blurry.
Right.
But when you're passionate about what you're doing,
okay,
it doesn't really feel like work.
Okay, so it's more fulfilling.
Yeah. For a lot of people, it is.
Than working for someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's also the satisfaction of creating something from nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing your idea come to life.
Okay.
That feeling is amazing.
And, I mean,
yeah,
there's got to be a financial upside, too.
Well, the financial potential is definitely motivating.
Right, but it's not all about money.
Absolutely not.
There's got to be more to it.
There's got to be more.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs, they want to make a difference.
Okay.
I want to solve a problem, create something that changes the world.
So it's about leaving a legacy.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay.
And that impact can be a lot of things,
right.
Social change, technological advances.
Yeah.
But it's using your abilities to make the world a better place.
This is making me think about another aspect of this.
What's that?
The learning.
Oh, yeah.
The growth that happens along the way.
It's constant. We're always learning.
So it's like you're getting paid to learn?
In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
That continuous learning is something that a lot of entrepreneurs really find rewarding.
This whole conversation is making me rethink my definition of success.
I think that's a good thing.
It's not just about money or status.
It's about finding something you love.
Yeah.
Building something meaningful.
Yeah.
And having the courage to embrace
the ups and downs along the way.
Yeah, the uncertainty.
Yeah, okay.
And that, I think, is the heart of what this document is trying to get at.
Okay.
With this whole heart metaphor.
Okay.
An entrepreneur's journey.
Right.
It's full of challenges.
Yeah.
Rewards.
Yeah.
Uncertainty.
Ups and downs.
Creative energy. And it's all those things that make it so unique.
So for anyone listening who's thinking about taking that leap.
Right. What would you tell them?
What would you tell them?
I would say embrace the chaos.
Yeah.
Dance to your own rhythm. And don't be afraid to fail.
I love that. Those are some great words to end on.
Well, I hope it's helpful.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Absolutely.
Into the entrepreneur's heartbeat.
It's been fun.
We hope you found it.
Yeah.
Insightful.
I hope so.
Inspiring.
Yeah. And remember, no matter what your goals are,
right.
whether you're an entrepreneur or just trying to live a better life,
right.
The key is to embrace that uncertainty.
Right.
Find the opportunity in the chaos.
Yeah.
And dance to the rhythm.
Dance to the rhythm.
Of your own unique journey.
That's it for us. We'll see you next time.